morning. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas, and we welcome you to the State Palace Theater here in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana, for tonight's main event. 10 rounds of heavyweight action between Muhammad Ali and Big George Foreman.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time, and his opponent across the ring, fighting at the blue corner, Big George Foreman.
All right, guys, listen up. Let's have a good, clean fight. All right, touch him up. Let's go.
First round underway in this scheduled 10-rounder. Well, here they go again. Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. We all know what happened with the rumble in the jungle. How does that play in the mind of George Foreman having to face Ali again now?
Whether or not Foreman can get those memories out of his mind. This is a guy that was broken down. This is a guy that had his will pulled out of his soul, out of his chest. And that's something you don't just recover from. That's not just a physical beating. That's an emotional, tumultuous beating. That's something that you just don't come back from.
Halfway through round number one. The twists and turns and the non-stop battle, it continues on as we've reached the 1-minute mark to go. Able to get rid of that one. He took a shot, but he gives one of his own. A left hand scores. He tried to nab him up top, but was unable to connect. George Foreman starting to swell here. We come to the end of the round. A round that I'm having a tough time trying to think about who won. I can only imagine what the judges are thinking about. Teddy, if there's one thing you look for in a round like that and say, okay, I'm going to give it to this guy over this guy, what is it?
Well, the first thing is, if I'm a judge, I take a little notepad and I make a little mark down, blue or red corner, what he did early. Because sometimes a judge has a tendency to forget what was done early and only go with what went late.
Nice work on the outside. Keep it up.
Here we go. Round two is underway. Like a fighter, coming back with the right hand after getting scored upon. George Foreman talks about the rope-a-dope, saying, you remember the rope-a-dope? I was the dope. That has stayed with him.
Yeah, it has. You know, that was a ghost that had to be exercised. And it took him 20 years to exercise those ghosts.
Able to dismiss his opponent's shot and then comes back with an uppercut. To go in this round. Neither man has decided to slow down at all. Oh boy, what a round. targeted by Ali. Targeting each other, the exchange was something special. Staying away from those headshots with his defense up top. Final 10 seconds of round number 2. Comes to an end here. An enjoyable night sitting ringside. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. A lot better than our day we spent at the horse track the other day, where we couldn't get any winners. At least I couldn't. But we were talking about the fact that so many parallels to be made between boxing and life boxing and all these other sports we enjoy, like horse racing, of being well conditioned and working your way up to this one singular moment.
Yeah, well, the trainer obviously has to get the athlete. In this case, the athlete happens to be over 1,000 pounds, and that's a horse. You know, at peak condition, he has to look at a calendar just like a trainer does with a fighter, know when the race is, know when the fight is, and not get used up out on the track, or used up, of course, in the gym.
George Foreman's eye, to me, is getting worse as things continue on here. Teddy, he's got to be very conscious of that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and his corner has to be, too. They got to be thinking about, if it gets to the point where he can't defend himself, they have to do something. Obviously, they didn't come here thinking they were going to have to do. Stop this fight.
Good block there by Ali. 90 seconds to go here in this round. You know, boxing is a global sport. I think sometimes in North America we lose touch of that, but boxing is such a global sport, and every little region of the country defines its fighters differently, and the fighters are defined by where they come from.
Yeah, it really is. You know, sometimes if a fighter is from maybe a place where there's not many resources, then you're going to get a fighter who's a little cruder, and he's going to have to be more physical because, you know, he doesn't have the apparatuses in the gym where, you know, he can hit a double end ball, or, you know, he can be inclined to be a little bit more technical. And I think that you're influenced by those kind of things, by the lackings of certain benefits in somebody's background or preparation.
Last 10 seconds of round number 3. End of the round here as we're ringside at our fight night venue. Of course, we're on the road with you every step of the way with a fine crew. We got to give credit to the crew there. Robbie and Rick back in the production truck doing a nice job, all cramped up in a tractor trailer.
Yeah, they do a great job. They allow us to go on the air and allow us to do the fun part while they're doing the grunt work. They're doing all the difficult things back there. Of course, Mike, Brian, all those guys. We appreciate you very much, and we're not taking you out to dinner tonight.
As another round gets underway, it gets us thinking, how much more of this will we see? Hard to envision this fight going the distance with how lopsided it's been. George Foreman's eye is nearly swollen shut here, Teddy. This thing gets much worse. He's not going to be able to defend himself properly.
No, it is up to his opponent and his opponent's corner to throw the punches that can take advantage of that. The right hands.
We could see a stoppage here. George Foreman's got to deal with a cut on his cheek right now. The good news is it's below the eye, but still, it could get nasty as the fight progresses. You can just tell that he's lacking that jab there. He just hasn't committed to throwing it at all.
I mean, that's the most basic thing in the world, is to use that jab. That jab does so many things for you. Keeps the guy defensive, and obviously it sets up your offense.
Beat him to the punch.
How about a return to sender with the left hand? Ali is being smart on the outside. Teddy, I think the fans sometimes don't appreciate it, but what he's doing right now on the outside is very smart.
Well, this is the sweet science, Joe, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's understanding where he needs to be, and he's controlling that dimension.
Blocks that punch. The end to another very entertaining round in what has been a very entertaining fight. A fight where there's just bad intentions. The fight that just doesn't have the feel of a fight that's going to be a decision win for somebody. Looks like somebody's going to get stopped.
Right from the beginning, they've been fighting with desperation. Like going the decision, as you just touched on, has not been in their minds at all.
Let's get on that, brother. Get the compress on that.
They start up again. Back to action here with another round. But who knows how much longer it'll last. This has been a completely one-sided fight.
Side to side. Move your head. Keep your distance.
Foreman's gone into a defensive shell, but that shell has cracks in it.
Yeah, it does, and the reason why it's getting cracks is because his opponent is confident that with those earmuffs on, you know, going into that peekaboo defense that he knows he's handcuffed, so he's putting together 3, 4, 5 punches where normally he would only throw 1 or 2, worried something's going to come back.
This is great stuff. I mean, great stuff. Bringing it every which way they are.
So you remember the time you were on a vacation, you saw that perfect sunset?
Oh, yeah.
It was just beautiful. This is beautiful.
Here's one for you now, he says. Right back with the left hand. So they close out that round. Joe and Teddy with you ringside. Teddy, I know you watch very closely how these trainers go about their business. You were under the tutelage of one of the true legends of the game, the great Customato.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate. Quite honestly, those opportunities, situations probably don't exist anymore because we've lost a lot of those, you know, really great trainers and managers that boxing was their whole life. I spent 7 years with Customato, and I learned the nuts and bolts from a physical, technical point of view of what's important to give to a fighter, but the psychological part, to understand the pressures that a fighter is under, the fears that a fighter deals with. And if you don't understand that...
Oh! Muhammad Ali's hurt by that. Oh, he just misses with that headshot. Teddy, I guess they wanted it. Look at this action going right out there, wasting no time.
No, these guys are impatient. They couldn't wait to get at each other.
Protecting his head well with his guard. Muhammad Ali is doing very nicely on the outside here in this fight. Teddy, is it possible that he didn't respect this fighter coming into the fight? Now, I know a lot of people would say, yeah, he's ahead on the scorecards, but you can just see the style of fight that this is, that he's being tested.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of two things. This guy being better than his record would indicate, and what you touched on, that he's a human being like anybody else. We look at the guy's record, we think of what kind of fight it's going to be. He looked at it, he thought it was going to be a little easier than it's turning out.
Blood coming from the nose of Big George. Holy cow! George Foreman's in bad shape.
Hey, no holding, no holding.
Oh, George Foreman is hurt here, and he's going to look to waste some time and gather some strength by hugging his opponent.
And that's what he's going to do, is use that strength. And you just said it, Joe. Use it to hug him. Hug him so tight that the referee has to come in there with a crowbar to separate them.
Predictions in boxing is often a dangerous task, but I'll make one right here that seems pretty obvious to me as we come to the end of that round here. This fight is going to be a brutal display as long as it lasts.
It's kind of like going and watching that home run contest. Nobody's trying to hit singles or doubles. You know they're all going for the fences.
Let's get on that swelling. You can compress on that.
The action starts up again, but it's only favors one man. Hard to see this fight going the distance based on what we've witnessed so far. Oh, he just misses with that headshot. Foreman's showing that he doesn't have any head movement defensively whatsoever. What else is there, Ted?
Well, there's legs. Start using your legs a little bit. Get out of range. One way or the other, get out of the other man's talking place.
Get out of the way. Move your head. And be sincerely.
Wow! George Foreman's in a bad place right now. He was tagged. Oh, that's gotta hurt. George Foreman's down. He went down hard. Foreman is rising up after being knocked down. Big George went down. Now he's going to continue on.
And now he has to find a way to kill that clock.
He turned defense into offense, comes back with the counterpunch.
And that's exactly what he brings to the game. He makes you miss, he makes you pay, and he makes you think.
There it is! George Foreman's in. He goes down. Oh, he may be close here. Can he survive the round? Muhammad Ali's going to be partying tonight. A knockout victory.
Your winner, the greatest of all time.
Muhammad Ali is your winner by knockout.
Everybody but his opponent is happy now. That was an entertaining fight.
For Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. Always enjoy you tuning in. We'll see you next time at the fights.
Get that type of media coverage Obama get. Spit that Kurt Vonnegut kid. That blow your brain, Kurt Cobain, that Nirvana. Who gonna bring the game back?
Até um outro dia.